Hey, folks, welcome back to another episode of Guitar Pro 6 and Ableton production, sound production, music production. Um, let us get into this basic track I've got going on in Guitar Pro 6 here. It is essentially a disco beat going on up here because we all love disco, right? With a little bit of that jazz thing going on. And um, we have a bunch of 16th note bass lines here on a 5-string bass. And I'm going to attempt to add a little bit here. We've got basically a 4-bar pattern here that we can loop. We got our loop button on here, right there. And then we're just going to say play. Alright, so we got a pretty catchy little tune here. So what we're going to do is I want to put some more notes here. So I want to go da 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 da. So that's 4/16 notes. Da 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 da. And then somewhere right around in here, I want to go da 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 da, that kind of thing. So I've pretty much narrowed it down to I want to produce 4/16 notes. Let's go ahead and get our view going. We're going to go to view and instrument panel. Let's get our instrument panel going on here. We've got our 5-string bass here. So I want to put da 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 right here. Okay, so how the hell do we do that? So I know the first 4 notes are going to be 16th notes. So what key are we in right here? So we're in E. Okay. So E. So we go da 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 da. Okay. I know what I'm gonna do here. So I think what I'm gonna do here is we're gonna get our 16th notes out. We've got that out here. Okay. So we're gonna go. So we're E here. So we're gonna go ba da. Ba da da da. Is that right? Yeah, that's it. So, like I said before, we got our 4 da 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 da. So we got to work on these 2 notes right here. I knew the first 4 notes were 16th notes though, but in the meantime, let's put a rest here. So we're just gonna hit R on the keyboard to whoops, excuse me. Let me Control Z that real quick. We're gonna go back. And we're gonna do insert. Okay, so inserts our rest. Okay, so it sounds like this now. So that's not exactly what I want. Let's try deleting that, and let's do. So that's coming pretty close. I guess that's what, a quarter. I guess that's a quarter. Let's go down to a quarter rest here. Okay, so let's delete a couple of these quarters here. So all I did was I went over here to the quarter note rest. Let's try this. Okay, so it needs more than a quarter note. Alright, so we'll go back over, we'll highlight, all we're doing is just clicking and dragging and highlighting that rest, and then we're going to go to our quarter, and I think it's maybe a dotted quarter. Let's try that. Okay, this maybe it doesn't need the quarter. So this is pretty much how I write music. It's almost like a a process of elimination kind of thing. I know what I kind of know what this part's going to be like over here, but I'm not sure what the rest is, so I'm just kind of playing around with that. So I think that's about what I want. So what we got to do is we got to work on these 2 notes here. Let me go ahead and kick the view up a little bit. There we go. So, let's see here. So that's definitely going to ring out maybe a quarter note. Okay, so how much are we off here? We're going to look down. As you can see, if you look down here, right there, I'm circling it right now. This is very important. This essentially tells us if we're over or under. Right now, I'm a quarter note over, in order to make the measure right, or to make the measure mathematically correct. So we got to take a quarter note out of this thing. So this probably has to go. Let's see here. Let's do an eighth here, because that sounds like it's an eighth note, and let's do an eighth note there. So that's mathematically correct right there. As you can see, it's right down there. It's got the green light there. So, okay, so that's definitely not, okay, that's definitely a 16th note, or maybe a dotted 16th note. So how much are we off here? 3.75. So we need a dot right here, I believe. So what we can do here is, that's sounding pretty decent right now. So that sounds pretty good. So then there is a magic button up here on our tools, I believe. Yep. Under tools, we go to complete reduce bars with rest. And now everything is mathematically correct. It's got the proper rest in it and everything. So let us. I'm going to put this maybe on second copy that phrase. I'll come down here and put it right here. I need something a little more here. Let's see if we can take from here. All right, let's try to go over here. Let's put a snare maybe here. Let's try that. Let's try it there. Let's try it there. Let's get rid of this here. Let's get rid of this there as well. Alright, let's see. Alright. Let's see if we can. Let's not do that. Well, actually, let's do some tom work right here. Why not? Let's try some tom work here. I haven't done much tom work. Let's see. Let's go ahead and max 200%. No. Okay, there we go. So let's do. Where we got the toms out here? Toms. Okay. Let's do it. Let's do a medium here. Low here. Actually, let's go. Okay. Oh, that's kind of cool. Alright, so that's kind of cool. That's a little bit of tom work, I guess. Is that all tom work? Yeah, it's tom medium. Oh, I did a kick. Okay, that's why. Let's see. Oh, there's a kick right there. Let's try some kind of splash right there. Alright, so let's go ahead and export this to Shut up. That's not what I wanted to do. No, that's not what I... Okay. Let's back up out of this thing to 100%. Alrighty, let's see. Let's export this to MIDI. And let's see what we can do with it in Ableton. It's called Rhythm Test 2. Let's save in our my transcribe folder here. And let's see. We're going to bring up the transcribe folder, which is right there. We're going to go ahead and close this out and save it. We are going to open up Ableton. We never, or maybe even we'll say just, you know. All right, we're now going to open up our transcribe folder, which is right there. And then we're going to take Rhythm Test 2, which we just did. We're going to throw it into Ableton. And as usual, it says when you're importing a GPX file or excuse me, a MIDI file from Guitar Pro, import tempo and time signature data window pops up. We're going to go ahead and say yes. We have to assign a drum kit now. And one of the packs I've been using quite recently. These are packs, by the way. So if we go over to our left, we're going to go over to our places menu, our window over here. This is essentially all of our sounds. Okay, so you can install what's called a pack. Okay, and in this pack are just very interesting sounds and loops you can get. But what we're looking for is a drum kit for our drum pattern up here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to KJ Swaka Mad Beats. I really like this this pack here. So what we can do, and these are all of his drum kits. So let's go and just try that one. What the heck, you know? It kind of has that. It kind of sounds like Guitar Pro in a way, but maybe a little bit better. And of course we're going to need our bass for that. I probably should have made a keyboard or a guitar line for it in Guitar Pro 6 as well, but let's just stick with drum and bass for now. Alright, let's see what this sounds like. Okay, and as usual, that's actually a really nice sounding kit. But as usual, we have to double click on our drum kit down here, which brings up our MIDI editor. Okay, this is the MIDI editor section. I'm just going to go ahead and expand this out as much as I can here. And as you can see, when you go from Guitar Pro 6, when you convert your Guitar Pro 6 composition into a MIDI file, when you transfer the MIDI file over, the bass drum automatically defaults to a B0, which is that. So what we're going to do is we are going to click on this white part right here, this white little tab. We're going to click on that, and as you can see, it highlights the entire bass drum pattern, or the bass drum just for the kit. And all we're going to do is we're going to hit the up arrow on our keyboard. Okay, so what that does is it just moves the drum pattern, that kick drum pattern, up one square to where the kick drum is allocated here. So what we can do, I mean, we can do it again. We can switch it back to B0. You know, you just highlight that little white rectangle there, and you just hit the up arrow on your keyboard, and that should bring up our bass drum here, which it sounds like this. That's the drum pattern that I want to get right there. I want to use that for something. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're down to a bar, right? No? Okay, we get down to a bar. So we're just gonna Control E on that one bar. So that's one bar of drum pattern information. So maybe we can take that one drum pattern fill sounding arrangement there, and we can just double it over and over and over again. And we can try that on up here. So we're just gonna highlight that one bar of information, and we're gonna go to our keyboard. We're gonna hit Control C, and then we're gonna hit the right arrow on the keyboard, which does this. Okay, and then we're just gonna hit Control V on the keyboard. Okay, so we're just gonna paste, and then we're gonna hit the right arrow again on the keyboard, and then Control V and paste. And just do it again and again. Right arrow on the keyboard, Control V. Right arrow on the right arrow on the keyboard, Control V. So it's basically like Control V, right arrow, Control V, right arrow, Control V. So that's basically how I've been setting up my loops so far. Just grabbing one bar sections, and we're gonna grab our loop selector here, and we're gonna add our loop here. So, and as you can see, there's no drum kit associated with here yet. As you can see right here, it says number 1 MIDI. So we're just gonna add another kit because it might be another section, you know, kind of thing. And let's try this drum beat, or excuse me, this drum kit, and see what that does. Hopefully it'll go into just this one and not all of them. There we go. Okay, I didn't mean to do that. Hold on a second. Is that the same kit here? Hold on. Yeah, I think that's the same kit. Let's just try this kit. That sounds pretty plain. Well, let's just try that real quick. I'm going to go ahead and turn this track all the way up. Okay, now we need some bass. So we're going to go to Woofer Lovin' Bass because that's pretty easy to do. Actually, let's try a different one today. We'll just type in, yeah, let's do, we're gonna switch over here in our panel to, let's see, samples, packs, okay, bass. We're gonna type bass into our search field here, and we're gonna go to all results. Okay, let's see. Let's try acid bass. Let's see what that does, and we'll maybe play around with the knobs a little bit down here. All right, let's go down a notch here to 90. We're gonna bring the tempo down quite a bit here. Let's see acoustic almost bass. Actually, let's go ahead and double this up. So we're gonna just go right click on here, on it where it says acid meltdown here, and we're gonna go to duplicate. Acoustic synth bass. Let's try that. See what that does. This is why I like getting woofer loving bass, because it's just, I don't know, it's everything else just sounds really synthy, you know. And actually, let's try that one. Let's try an analog saw bass. I think that'll work. Hopefully, yeah. One thing I have noticed is the glue compressor definitely adds, it has the ability to add a kick to whatever you're working on here. So we're going to go ahead and drop that in there. And let's try to add a little bit of volume to this track here, but keep the threshold low and maybe do some clipping just in case it gets really crazy. So let's see what that sounds like. So now it kicked way up there. That's real rumbly. That's a pretty decent little loop we've got going on. Let me try it with this other beat real quick here. Let's see what that sounds like. So then maybe that could be in another song or something. But I like this beat. So, let's try this beat out really quick, but really fast. What's this sound like? So I think that's pretty good for 30 minutes there. I think I'm gonna keep on working on this beat here. I hope you guys learned something. I think I actually learned a little bit by playing around with it, and that was just I wrote a little bit more to that bass line, and I transferred the MIDI signature into, or the MIDI file into Ableton. We moved the bass drum up from B0 in the MIDI table here, and we appropriated drum kits and bass sounds to our electric bass here. So in about 31 minutes, that's not too bad. I think I need to write another part to this, and probably another bass line to go with this pattern here. So I guess what I'm going to say is I'm going to go ahead and get back to you guys, and hopefully in the next day or two I'll have another part for this, and guess I'm going to go ahead and try to record that as well. And really thank you guys for watching this, and please subscribe, and keep on watching YouTube and learning stuff. That is pretty cool to do. So Mark Wilhelm, over and out. Thank you guys. Bye.